Today's show is brought to you by Organifi, the best tasting green blend on the market. They're cold processed, guys, to retain all of the nutrients. And if you're looking to fill all the nutritional gaps and buffer out that new stress that your body has to deal with on a daily basis, check out Organifi.com. That's Organifi.com and use the promo code SUCCESS to save 20% on your order. And now to today's show.
I wake up every single day. I am who I say I am. And I get what I get because I live in beast mode. Stop being gazelles. You're not average. You're not even good. You were born to be great.
What's going on, world? Welcome to another edition of the Secret to Success podcast. I'm your host, CJ, joined as always by the Bayesian sensation, Mr. Carl Wesley Phillips.
What's happening?
Dr. Douglas Thomas. Where in the world is he? We don't know, but I believe he's on the line.
What it do?
And man, we have I can't call him a guest, but he hasn't been on in a while, man. He's been on the grind and working too hard to join us. But we got my man Josh Hatch on the line. Of course, he's joining us again to give us that business expertise. What's going on, Josh?
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for having me back.
You know it. So, man, we had a bunch of questions for Josh that were kind of in the queue for a while since the last time Josh has been on. And so I told him, man, we got a bunch of questions in the queue for you. We want to talk business. We want to talk entrepreneurship, getting to that next level on the podcast. So come on and join us. So I appreciate you joining us last minute. I want to apologize, and I'm going to start off with, am I tripping and I want to apologize for being late to the podcast. And I don't know if y'all ever had a situation where you get into like a little petty silent fight with your wife, but I just got into like the most petty day-long fight that you've ever seen in your life. All right, so now I may be wrong. You could say I'm tripping, but this is what happened. Okay, so a couple weeks ago, I'm not gonna lie. She asked me to put gas in her car. I told her I got it. I didn't do it. So she got up in the morning. She was running late for work. Of course, she got in the car. No gas, okay? I get it. I take the L for that. That's my bad. I should have went and got gas. I apologize. Since then, I have not failed her on the gas, right? But yesterday, probably about 2:30, I get a Google Calendar invite to put gas in my wife's car. Now, I'm not sure if it was just my pettiness kicking in, but I was like, hold up. Did she just send me a calendar invite for tonight at 6 p.m. to put gas in her car? So I was like this, I'm not clicking yes, like flat out. I refuse to click yes and put a gas run on my calendar. So, but let me tell you how much of a punk I am. Because as soon as I didn't click anything, I went to my phone and was like, hey Siri, can you remind me to put gas in the car at 6 o'clock?
Oh, no,
right?
God.
So she comes home. The calendar invite comes on, and I mean the Siri pops in. She's like, "Yo, you gotta go put gas in the car." So I'm sitting there. I get the busy running around with Trey. Of course, I forget to put gas in the car. Now, Holy Ghost was looking out for me because I wake up this morning and she's got early meetings, so she's gonna work from home. So I'm like, bet, right? So nobody said anything about the gas to this point. So I get up in the morning, take the kids to school, go to the gym. I come back, I'm still, like I pull up in the driveway, forgot all about the gas until I looked at the car. So she looks at me and goes, I'm about to leave in a minute. Did you put gas in the car? And I just looked at her and I walked back out the door. And she was like, where you going? I said, I'm going to get batteries for the podcast. And she was like, oh, okay. So I was hoping she didn't notice. I put the garage down and took her car, hoping she didn't notice. And then she can't. So then I go put gas in her car, of course. Come back, park, jump out, come in the house. She was like, "Oh, okay. You got batteries?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Why'd you take my car?" And I just looked at her and was like, "I got to go do the podcast." I just came to the basement and jumped on the line with y'all. So, am I I don't know. I didn't feel good about the Google Calendar invite for gas. I don't know if that's just me tripping, or if I should have just let it ride, but I'm saying, why in the world do I have to get a Google Calendar invite because I messed up one time? I don't know. Carl, please.
Hey, was it a repeating like weekly calendar, or was it just the one time?
Bruh, I was so devastated by the fact that she even tried to send me a calendar invite. Let me check it right now while you playing. Yeah, all I see, is a calendar invite from my wife that says, nope, it's weekly. Yeah. It said here's why I didn't click it. Because you can tell when it's a Google Calendar invite. It just says, need gas tonight at Tuesday, October 17th, 7 to 8 p.m. I'm like, and the organizer is Candace Quinney, recipient Carlos Quinney. I'm like, this is unbelievable. I'm like, can I live? So, man, I got blessed because I would have been, I'm talking about if she would have been running today and had to get up out of here early,
week.
I would have just had to throw myself on the fire so fast. It would have been ugly. But I just refused to click the yes button. I don't know why. Like, I just turned around and told Siri, so I'm really a punk because I did it anyway because I know I need the help. But something about it, I was being petty. I just couldn't click yes on the invite. So I don't know if y'all ever had a silent fight with your wife that lasted.
I was going to say, I'll give you a quick one. See, I had one yesterday. Real quick. I'm going to tell you equally dumb. So I'm washing the dishes. My wife, she referenced maybe 2-3 weeks ago that, dude, like, it's a lot going on in the house. I need a little more support. I'm like, bet, I got it. So I'm trying to, like, last thing at night, make sure I tidy up, wash dishes, whatever. I'm doing a little bit of laundry, putting them away. So this is yesterday morning. I'm washing the dishes, and she comes downstairs. And I usually try to do it earlier before she comes down, but she comes downstairs, and I'm about done. And she leans over and says to me, "You're not going to wash the sponge out? You know, it leave a smell in there." And, dude, I ain't going to lie. Like you said, like, it's a calendar invite. It ain't that deep, but, like.
It just hurts.
It just hit me. It just hurt. It
hurts, Carl.
Like,
I'm with you. It hurts.
Answer you right now.
It hurts.
It
It
just
hurts
hurt.
bad. It cuts
So I don't
deep.
know if it's,
and the devil
I don't
on your
know if it's
shoulder
just
wants
a
to.
male thing.
Well, why don't you do it? If you want it, but you can't go there. You know what I'm saying?
So it was exactly what you said. I did not answer. I just walked away, and I was like, you know what? I ain't gonna say nothing to this one. Let it blow over. And it took a minute. It took maybe an hour or two to blow over. But yeah, no, just little things. Like I said, I don't know if it's the male nature or what it is, but just like you said, see, it just felt. Ooh.
Carl, I think Carl's was worse though. Carl's was worse because it was like the way she leaned into him. Because I thought you were gonna say she just like leaned into you. Was like, hey, I just want to say thank you so much for being such an amazing husband and picking up the slack where I left off. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was something romantic coming, and she leaned in, was like, hey, that sponge is mad dirty. Start over.
So CJ, I'm gonna side with Didi on this one, and here's why.
Let's start this podcast over, y'all.
Here's
Let's start
why.
over.
Because the worst thing for me is when Heather actually doesn't say anything. So, example, it's the night before garbage night, she says, take the garbage out. I said, no problem. I'm sitting in my office the next day and I hear those tires, those wheels start to turn on the pavement.
Oh, that's the worst.
I would have rather had a calendar invite.
No. Yeah. Wow. Hey, you know me, I'd have been like, oh, so you can take out the trash.
Yeah. If you would have hopped in that car
that's the gorilla in me.
if you would have hopped to go get that gas and that gas tank was full, I think you would have tensed up. I think you would have tensed up.
Yeah. No, I agree with you though. When you heard that garbage thing rolling, oh, you try to run out. You know what I'm saying? Try to run out, take over halfway.
Yeah, I got this.
I was about to do it.
I got this.
Yeah, the garbage man is like two houses down. She's like, oh, okay, when? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You can't even front. Garbage man right there. I'm about to do it. I told you, give me a second.
Josh, when you said it, Josh, I got that stomach, that feeling in my stomach when I would go to class and the teacher be like, all right, take out your paper pen for the exam. And I'm like, the exam?
Oh.
Like, yo, I forgot.
Oh, or turning your homework.
Oh, bruh. I'm talking about that research paper, turn that joint in. And I forgot, Josh, and I got that same.
I'm talking about you feeling from the tingle of your toes to the top of your head. You start getting hot. You get a little fever. You like, what was due?
Meanwhile, y'all know I went to college with Didi. So meanwhile, Didi has opened up her book bag and pulled her paper out. and turn her
Oh,
joint
for
in.
sure.
And
But
so-
she didn't give you the heads up that it was due?
No, that's why though, because when they give you the heads up, Didi, like I give you a heads up, and then you respond the way y'all were talking about earlier. So she like, you make it hard for me to respond. Yeah, yeah.
Right, I can't get a Google Calendar invite on the important stuff, huh? Just gas in the car. Meanwhile, I'm about to fail out of. No wonder it took E 12 years to get a 4-year degree. D got out of there in 3.5. You know what I'm saying? D, you weren't showing no tutoring love. Unbelievable. Yeah, hey, we putting the pieces together. E hated, and then D turned around and hated on his academic career. It's all fair in love and war, I guess. All right, let's get serious. That was fun. Yeah, I'll let y'all know how the Google Calendar invites come through. If I get another one on my phone, though, we're going to have some issues. So, oh, by the way, the fans are out of the house. Thank you for your concern. We have no more industrial fans and dehumidifiers in the house. Apparently, the walls have dried, and now it's time to start the demolition process. They're going to tear down the whole house and rebuild it, apparently. The insurance people, I don't like how they try to lowball. I'm looking like, hold on, this is a little bit more expensive than you said, but we shall see. But yeah, so all right, let's jump into what we came to talk about today. Josh, we got a lot of questions from people, man. Of course, you being the kind of the business guru of the team, I wanted to make sure we got you in here, and of course, this is open to everybody. But a lot of people, have been hitting us up, talking about entrepreneurship. They want to make a switch. They want to leave their 9-to-5, or maybe some of them don't even want to leave their 9-to-5, just kind of want to start out, on a different, business path on the side, whether that be, we had some people, who sell art, some people who, just have a side hobby or hustle. And one of the first questions was, and this is to everybody, one of the first questions that came in that I was like, huh. And I know you've done so many different things, and Carl and E, you guys can jump in on this too. Somebody asked, can I be a successful entrepreneur if I'm not passionate about what I'm doing? And I was like, I'm not really sure. I know in our case, we are passionate about what we're doing, but do you guys think you can be a successful entrepreneur, a successful businessman or woman if you're not passionate about the field that you're in?
Yeah, so the answer for me is yes. Can you do that for your entire life? Probably not. But can you start a business and do it for a while if it's not a passion? Yes, and you may find out that part of that business is your passion as you get going. There's parts of it that there's parts of it that you will like, and there's parts of it that you won't like. But a business is like it's a being. It's ever evolving. It's not a standalone thing. And so to get, it's so important in business just to get going and then to figure out what you like and don't like. But, I have people, and I think the other part of it is you need to match your financial goals and your dreams with what you want to do. If you want to, I have friends that make $35,000 a year and they're as happy as can be, and I believe that's winning. That's ultimately winning. Mm-hmm. But I can't go and sell plastic sacks, garbage bags, door to door, and hope to make $1 million in my first year of business. I don't have the right vehicle for that. But if I get going and I'm not passionate about those bags, and it leads to bigger and better things, and something becomes passionate in the process, that may become something I do long term. But there's tons of entrepreneurs that start businesses for 5-10 years. With the ETA, obviously it's a life's work. So, my answer is yes, you absolutely can get going without having to be passionate about the entire process. But there's parts of it that you do have to be passionate about.
Yeah, no, and I think there's so many, you're right, there's so many different components to starting a business, you know what I mean? Hopefully you're passionate about one of the elements, because as you're talking, I'm thinking you're right. There's things that I'm super passionate about as it relates to, everyday operations and things you got to do. And then there's some things that I don't particularly love that we have to do. It has to get done and somebody has to do it, but it's not necessarily, something you're passionate about. So hopefully in that, space, you can kind of find something that you're excited about in that. Another question, Josh, Malcolm in DC just said, hey, Josh, I'm struggling getting my sales team to be consistent. One week they crush it, the next week they fall off the face of the earth. How do I keep them operating at a high level?
Yeah, the answer is find more salespeople, not new salespeople. Find more salespeople. So salespeople in most industries are going to be driven by what their own. They take sales because there's usually some level of autonomy. So many times salespeople are going to have different financial goals for what they want to achieve. Some want to make $1 million a year. Some are happy having more flexibility and making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year. But you can't continue to I call it the heavy lifting, right? Salespeople are the heavy lifting. They're bringing the revenues. You can't continue to ride the heavy lifters and just ask them to do more. You need to add more people to the team, and just know that there's a sales cycle. And sometimes guys will get tired for a minute, and you need to have enough people on the team in a sales organization to pick up the slack while maybe your lead horse is tired.
Yeah, no doubt. And then, so just give us an example though, Josh, for us on the solar side. For those of you who don't know, Josh, when he came on and was with us for a while, was like, hey, I think we got a chance here to go back into this space. And so from the ground up, we kind of built out the solar company, Harbor Solar, which is going extremely well. And we've been able to do really well over the course of what, Josh, 6 months with, I don't know, 12, 13 employees, sales, a sales team. So can you talk about, trying to find and recruit the right people as opposed to just like come one, come all?
Yeah. I mean, and this answer actually comes with time. Very similar to how both you and Carl teamed up with E. When you get started in a company, usually people are hiring their best friends or some acquaintances that get referred to them because they don't have a giant talent pool. But if you stay in an industry long enough, you get to start to pick your own talent. And we have I would argue that we have 2 1%ers in the industry on our sales team that are leading the way, that do a great job, and they set the pace. But what we have really is a team that knows exactly what they want to accomplish. They're self-motivated, and they've gotten out and they give a great customer experience. But 7 years ago, I stood no chance of working with these guys when I started my first sales-based company. No chance. I had to be in the game long enough and have a track record to have the right to be able to recruit sales talent like this. And so when you have these guys, now you have this small team where culturally your dialogue is the same. So you are speaking the same language. And really what's important is we just find out what's important to them. So when we sit down and we talk about working with Harbor, we say, what are your goals? And if we can help them achieve those goals, then they're a great fit. If we can't, then we have to be mature enough and have enough character to know that we can't help that person get to where they want to be, or they're not the right fit, and let them walk. And in sales, that's not always easy because people can see dollar signs attached to salespeople.
Right. No, I get it 100%. And I think that's been one of the keys. And I mean, can you talk about like some of those recruiting strategies? Because everybody, when you're kind of like a free agent, right? You look at, how people are able to recruit. It's no different than a college basketball team or whatever. You're trying to get the highest level recruits, and everybody wants to get the highest level recruits. And there's people out there right now, Josh, who are starting a company, who are entrepreneurs. And like you said, they hired their friend who wasn't necessarily the best hire. And now you got to go out and try to find high level talent. And even E, you can, maybe speak to this as well, just in terms of, your work ethic and, how you were able to attract, maybe not even so much as recruit E for you, but just attract high level talent. What are the keys to making sure that you can, sell them on that right fit and then keep them in the fold once you get them in the fold?
Yeah, well, I'll let Josh.
Yeah, I mean, I'll let E answer this first because I'm here because E did this, and I'm on the team because E did this.
And yeah, and exactly. E, what talk to us?
Well, I was going to ask Josh to start. You know what I'm saying, Josh? I was going to ask you to get started. But I guess I would say, Josh, winners or winning, Josh, in my opinion, attracts winners. And I think a lot of times people want to start with being on a winning team as opposed to being a winner first. And CJ talks about it a lot. A lot of people want to run companies, but perhaps you may need to join a company. So for me, I've always been a part of a company. I've never, I didn't initially start companies. I was a member of Bell Tower Ministry. I was a member of Madison Mission Church, so I always knew that it is important as one looking to be recruited, because that's what I was prior to, the success that we're having right now. I knew that I had to be a winner, and not necessarily a triple-double threat initially, but I had to have an area that I was dominant in. And so for me, guys, I think that's the key. Now look, I want you guys to hear this because this is important. No company is looking for a person who is a master in all things. But I think where a lot of people make a mistake, and especially when people look at me, there are people who look at me like, yo, E, you don't really, what I'm saying? Like, you don't necessarily have 50 things that you do well, right? But what I try to explain to people is if you have a guy or a young lady who is good at 3 things, the challenge they're gonna have with competing against me is that I am excellent at 1 thing, right? So I'm not necessarily good at 4 or 5 things. You heard CJ say, E'll lose this, or E'll forget to do this, or he didn't do this. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. When I get on that mic, that's the one thing I do that I do it so well that if you good at what you do, you'll never catch me. You could be good at 3 or 4 things, but there's one thing I do on this earth that when I do it like nobody else. And so for me, I've understood that if you want to be attractive, you have to have one thing that you do so well, Dennis Rodman. One thing. Dennis Rodman, I think there was one game, and I could be mistaken, but I think there was one game he had over 20 rebounds and absolutely no points. Absolutely no points, right? My man didn't have 5 points, but he had over 20-something rebounds, which is unbelievable. And what does 20 rebounds mean? It means an extra 5 or 7 shots for Michael Jordan, which is deadly. Like, it's deadly. You didn't just give Michael Jordan, throughout the course of that year, you've given Michael Jordan second options that he didn't even have to work for. So he didn't have to exert energy to get the rebound and try to go back up. So I believe that being attractive, being a winner in an area, just one area that you do exceptionally well, will put you in a position where you'll be recruited. And then somebody like me, I was recruited by a couple people. I started my own thing, and I started attracting high-level gifted individuals because they too want to win a championship, right? And so I looked at Golden State last year. It was like, yo, it's a wrap, bro. It's a wrap. Like, they about to win 5, 6 in a row. And then because LeBron is LeBron, all of a sudden, we see over the summer, because Bron is so sweet and probably the best player right now in the league. And who knows what he's going to be able to accomplish before he retires. Now D-Wade want to play for him. Now Rose want to play for him. Crowder want to play for him. You know what I'm saying? And we're not finished yet. The season's just starting. So there are other people who want to be on Cleveland's team so they can have a chance to beat Golden State. So for me, Josh, I think it starts with you being the best version of you could be, and locking down one particular area and proving to other individuals that if I rock with E.T., if I rock with CJ, if I rock with Carl, if I rock with Josh, we're going to be winners. And the one problem I don't have anymore that I may have had maybe 15 years ago is I don't have a problem with companies. I don't have a problem with individuals, not only wanting to play for us, but seeking us out and being willing to do it for free for a time frame until they can produce, income. So, yeah, that's it, C. I think you just need to be a winner yourself and prove you can win, and people going to want to rock with you.
Yep, I love that. Yeah, and I'll just piggyback off that. I think the other thing by being a winner is when you are so this is on recruiting, right? You're trying to get people to join your organization, your business, and you're new and you're getting going. What can you do for those people? Really, you have to, like you say, see, you have to be able to self-assess and say, do I really provide something for these people, or do I want them to join my organization because it just benefits me? And most people, the answer is, if they really think about it, is I want them to join my organization because it benefits my bottom line. That's the only reason why they want you to work with them. But what can you do? What can you do for them that's different? So when we're talking, let's say Harbor Solar, these guys are anywhere from maybe 5 to 10 years younger than me. So I have 5 to 10 more years of experience that I can teach them along the way and bring them up faster than someone brought me along. So I can teach them things that someone didn't teach me. So that's a benefit. On top of that, they're going to make a great living. I can introduce them to my circle, which I believe my circle and my network is stronger. You know, we had the conference in DC, and the guys were able to do a private session with you and with E, and that's something that they couldn't pay for. You can't pay for that kind of exposure. You know, Heather, we actually were doing lunch yesterday, my wife, and she asked me, she said, so what is it that you love about Harbor? And then she said, and what is it that you love about ETA? And I said, well, actually, the thing that I love most about ETA, with all the cool stuff we're doing, I love the people that I work with and the examples that my kids get to watch. That's something that joining the organization, that's something that you can't put money on. The fact that they get to have E.T. in their corner in life, and CJ in their corner in life, and Carl in their corner in life, and all the other people at ETA. And you know what? That's not common. That's just not common. And so that's something that money can't provide. And so people really want to join organizations when there is money, because there's Maslow's needs. You need food, shelter, water, money. You need all that stuff, right? You need all that to get by. But on top of that, real thriving organizations, people join because they want to be part of something or part of someone that's maybe a level or two ahead of themselves, and give them something that
Hey, real quick,
business
Josh.
can't or money
Let me
can't buy.
just ask Josh this real quick, Josh. It was probably about a year ago, and we were talking along this same line, you and I. You said something to me, and I just want you to expound on it. You kind of touched it there. But you said to me that you've hired people and realized that they were not a right fit for you, but you took it another step and helped them find the right opportunity for them.
Yeah.
So just going back to the point of what you were talking about in terms of, man, like we hire people to benefit our bottom line, but you've taken it upon yourself now as, you know, as a CEO, as an owner of a company, to not just look out for the company, but really take it upon yourself to look out for the people, even if it's not beneficial to you. So I kind of want you to go into that a little bit.
Yeah, you know, life changes and people change and circumstances change, and people may start with me and they may end up having a couple kids along the run that we work together. They may need to move back to their home state to be closer to family. They may have some medical they may just change their interests. And I think when you work with people, if you truly care about them, you not only have a right to have them work for your company, but you have the right, if it's not the right fit anymore, to help them get onto the next career opportunity. Not drag them
100%.
and not drag them along to where they can't win. Some people are in a field where they can't win. You put them in a position they can't win, and that's actually on you, not them.
You know, I agree. I want to know, I guess, as we're talking, I want to know, like, from my budding entrepreneurs, and I'm trying to make this as relevant as I can, because we got a ton of entrepreneurs who listen to this podcast, Josh, and they send in questions from all over. We'd all like to be able to recruit high-level talent, right? And so that'd be great. Obviously, you have a name in the solar industry. You've built up, a company, from nothing to, tons of money. So you have this cachet that you bring, right? And so what do you say to an entrepreneur who maybe doesn't have that same cachet and can't go get, some of the guys that we were able to recruit on the Harbor? They can't do that. Like they don't have enough, enough skin in the game or whatever. What do you look for when you're bringing in people who maybe are, young, who are fresh, who maybe have a skill set? They don't necessarily know how to do that first, but you see what I'm saying? Like, how do you find those hidden gems, as opposed to, there's a couple guys who we recruited who we knew were going to come put up numbers, right? There's a difference between, all right, I'm about to go get Kevin Durant and LeBron James, and I'm about to go get the guy who got picked in the 3rd round, who's going to be a star forever. You know what I mean? Like, how do you find those hidden gems? What qualities do you look for in a potential employee, or should you just be looking for built-in superstars? No,
you can't. That's a great question. You can't look for built-in superstars, because they won't come work with you. If E was a terrible speaker, no one would come and learn how to speak from E. I mean, you just can't. It doesn't work. But a good example is Travis on our Harbor side. So 4 years ago, he was that diamond in the rough. He was making $30,000 a year selling insurance. This year he's going to make over $300,000. And what we saw was the intangibles. The insurance I could look at and say, okay, he's working that hard, and if he just works that hard doing this, we can pick up the rest. And so I'm looking for work ethic. I'm looking for, and he talks about it all the time, I'm looking for character. I'm actually looking for connection. Do I actually like this person? Because once you recruit a superstar, they're pretty self-sufficient. But when you're really starting and you're bringing someone into the business, you're going to spend a lot of time with that person, a lot of time with that person. And you need to make sure that you like to spend time and you like to bring them along. But see, our secret sauce, to answer your question, Kevin was a diamond in the rough 5 years ago. Travis was a diamond in the rough 4 years ago. These are all guys that we have brought along. So we didn't get to recruit them. Now they had proved themselves at the last venture, and so they became superstars at this one from the get-go. But before that, they were all diamonds in the rough. And so we brought them in and we just worked hard. But I spent a ton of face time with them. I look for people that will work really hard. I look for people that we don't need to babysit. So we don't have to pick up the phone and say, hey, are we working? What are we doing? I look for people that speak life into people and build up the team and build up the organization. I look for people that are willing to go the extra mile without having to be asked to go the extra mile. I look for people that treat my family well. You know, if you meet my family and the quickest way to my heart is to be kind to my family. If we sit down and you have zero interest in spending time together, then in my business, we don't have any interest in being around each other long term, because the money's not that important. It's just not. You can make money anywhere. And you can do sales anywhere. You know, we have Josh from Colorado on this podcast. One of my sales reps could go be a killer for him in the car dealership. There's no question. And one of his guys could come and be a killer for us on the solar side. There's great salespeople everywhere, but finding ones that want to stay somewhere, that can stay focused and work hard. You want to find diamonds in the rough, and that's all intangibles. That's 100% intangibles.
Yeah. And I think that's the hardest thing, especially for sales, right? Is because the turnover is usually super high, right? You spend all this time training people up and getting them on board, and then boom, they're gone, on to the next opportunity. Because a lot of times if I'm just selling, like you said, I can sell anything. So the next guy that calls me says, hey, I can offer you this, I can offer you this. And so it's important, like you said, to build that environment where you actually want to stay, where you actually want to be a part, as opposed to you're just opportunity hopping to the next, place that's going to pay you an extra $5 an hour, because it really doesn't matter to you, right? And so, no, I get it 1,000%. Really quick, because I want to go into the work we're doing in the schools. And you talk about being an entrepreneur and even shifting focuses from not necessarily shifting focus, because we're still doing the other thing, but I want to talk about the schools and the work we're doing in the schools as well, because that's a part of our business and our passion, if you will. But Josh, I want to know from you and to the people out there listening, I think one of the things that I'm always fascinated about with Josh is his ability to see ahead of what's going to go on. I just come from blue collar, where you go and you get a job, you make it happen for 30 years and it's over. You've been able to see different business opportunities in different markets, and most of the people who've been following on the podcast for a while know that you obviously you built up a company in the security systems industry, and then of course in the solar and all of these things. And so as somebody who started several multi-million-dollar companies, which is something that I think most of us, Carl, I can't even really fathom like that. What do you see? Because the thing is, Josh, you didn't start these with big time investors or funders who were like, hey, here's a couple $1 million to get you going and get you started. You literally started it from absolutely nothing. And so for those people out there who are like, yo, I want to build something, what are you looking for? And I know it's not something that you can just explain, top to bottom, in a podcast, but give us an idea of what we're looking for. You came and you were like, hey, I see an opportunity. You called me, hey, this solar thing, what do you think? You think we should, whatever. But what do you look for in a particular industry? Because I don't know that you're necessarily super passionate about the solar industry, but it's an opportunity that you saw. It's a window that you saw to be able to provide opportunities for others. And then you took it and ran with it. And now, we're seeing these incredible results. But what do you look for as an entrepreneur when it's time to take advantage of an opportunity? When you see, gosh, that looks like something that, could be, well within our wheelhouse to take to that next level?
Yeah. First, I think that see, working with you, you have some incredible gifts that sometimes I sit back when you make a business decision, or you see a video that I shake my head and go, that's genius. And my brain doesn't work that way. And I think what you're saying is you look at something and say, okay, so how does your brain work that way, and how do you recognize opportunity? The answer is, I believe it's a gift that I've been given to kind of see a trend, and see that where I can leverage it. But the bottom line is, I've always looked at people that I look at people and go, okay, here's this guy. He's doing well in this industry. What are the things about this guy? So can I do that? Is that a product that I think I could put out and sell? Because here's the deal in business that most people just look past. I get so bored when people come to me with business ideas and it's spreadsheets and 20-page business plans. And I'll say, what have you sold? Who have you sold this to? Where have you turned any revenue with it? But the bottom line is, if you've done any sort of business, revenue solves a lot of problems. Without revenue, it's just a dream. And so the answer is, how are we going to turn revenue? How does this make money, and not make money in a greedy way? Like, how does this make us a lot of money? But how does this turn the business? So how does this keep the business turning to where we can live to fight another day, and we can live to fight another day? But so the answer is, I look at people, CJ, and I say, okay, I can do that. I can do what he's doing. And I think he's skilled, but I can do that, and I can do that industry. If that guy can, I see a little bit of myself in that guy and go, okay, I can do that, and I can put it on steroids. And I just go and learn.
And I think that was one of the major things I think you taught me when you came in, and I was asking you that question, and you were like, take any business. You were like, take any business you want. Like, let's just say somebody who's running a successful real estate company, right? And it's churning, $1 million a year. It was like, what they're doing is duplicatable. Like, you can duplicate what they're doing, and if you have the right skill set in terms of leadership and recruiting and all of those things, like you said, you can kind of put that thing on steroids. So what they're doing, somebody who's making $1 million a year, it's not rocket science. Now, if it is rocket science, you're probably in a lot of trouble because maybe your brain just doesn't compute that. But if you're running, a successful business, that, like I said, is bringing in $1 million, $2 million a year, you were like, I can look at that business. I can literally duplicate, some of the things that they're doing, put my own flavor to it, and then run it up even more. And I think that's one of the things that, Carl, I never really even thought about in terms of, businesses outside of ETA, because we are looking to grow and expand. You know what I mean? Obviously, this will always be the core of what we do. But at the end of the day, we're entrepreneurs. And I understand, and you understand, we all understand that the more we're able to start businesses, the more opportunities we're going to be able to provide. And I think that's what's deep about what we're doing in the schools now, is we really want to build a pipeline for these, young people who are going to school, who are coming out, to be able to have, careers and resources. And we want to be able to do as well as we can as entrepreneurs to be able to take them to the next level. And so the solar industry is one of those things. Obviously, we have a bunch of other stuff on the table that we'll talk about. But as of right now, Josh, I called you the other day and you said, hey, we're ready to start recruiting more for Harbor, right? We had that conversation where you're like, yo, we're ready to offer jobs now because we've grown this thing enough. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about what we're doing, is being able to provide those opportunities. And there's something about being able to, help people and have people get not only a job, but a career or something that they can provide for their families. And, we can instill some of these values that we have. And so I think that's major. And E, if you want to come in and kind of talk about what we're doing in the schools and kind of the big vision of where we see this ultimately going, that'd be dope.
Yep, not a problem at all. If you don't mind, I want to go back and just ask Josh a question. CJ talked about, bringing on this talent, man. I think one of the things that you guys need to do, is, if I could do it all over again, I wouldn't look to hire friends. It makes a lot of sense, when you talk about hiring friends and family, it makes a lot of sense. And I think, Josh, what a lot of people get confused with is relationships, family, vision, dreams, and business. And they're two different things, and sometimes, and I'm gonna say this, the thing that I admire most about LeBron James outside of basketball. You know, of course, at first it would be his family, but second it would be that while he did hire his friends, he also set a standard where his friends literally had to go to school, or I wouldn't just say school, but they whatever. And I'm not LeBron, so I wasn't in the meeting, and I don't know exactly how it went. But to some extent, they talked about whatever it was they loved or whatever their dreams and goals were, that they needed to really get educated in that field. You know, and so we look at people in the past who may have hired their friends and may have hired people in their communities, and unfortunately went bankrupt because while they hired good people, loving people, caring, trustworthy people, they didn't necessarily hire competent people. And I think that's the mistake that I probably made earlier, is that I surrounded myself with people who shared my values, you know, and people who I could trust and people who I loved. And that doesn't always translate, Josh, to good business, savvy people. You know, that doesn't always transfer to a 5-year sound business plan. You know, that doesn't always, mean people are gonna get up at 3 o'clock and grind. As a matter of fact, it's the opposite. Sometimes when you hire family, Josh, you're not able to hold them accountable in the same way you're able to hold a stranger accountable. So I just want you to speak to that before we go to the school piece. And just talk to us, Josh, from a business standpoint. We're not talking family or talking strangers, but what are some of the things that we really do need to talk about from a day-to-day standpoint? Like, what are some of the things we need to look at from recruiting when we talk about being able to, not just character-wise, but make money? What are some of the things that are important when we're hiring, Josh? So, and we might say, yo, this is a red flag. I shouldn't hire my family because they don't boom, boom, boom. Or this is a red flag. I shouldn't hire a stranger. This is probably something I should ask somebody in my family to do.
Yeah, you said it earlier, E, when you said, winners win. And what you need to hire is experience. So you need to hire, when you're hiring someone into your business, and that doesn't mean that they have to work 10 years somewhere, but you need to hire someone with some kind of experience. What happens with a lot of friendship, when you're hiring friends or family, and you're doing it through love and through friendship, is you end up hiring someone that needs an opportunity. So whatever you have a gap in your business, if you say, could you do this? Of course they can. They're making $0 right now and they need an opportunity. So they'll say, yep, hand up, I'm in. And you end up giving them the job, and then you sit there and you shake your head and you get frustrated because you say, I thought you said you could do this. And they're going, well, I said I would do it. I never told you I could do it. I said I would. And those are and that relationship, the challenge in that, and I've done this. Look, I've done this. I know this from experience. This isn't speaking theory. And the real challenge with that is when you hire like that, it's almost impossible to unwind. Because what do? Hire or fire someone that you're going to be standing next to at the family reunion, getting your dinner plate? Answering to your aunts and uncles.
Once you hire them, it's tough to fire.
That's exactly exactly. And so
I'm talking about impossible.
And so when you're looking to hire and you're saying business, you need to look for someone with some experience and someone that wants to do that job. Like you said, they need to be a specialist. You say, what can you do for the organization? They say, this is exactly what I can do. And maybe they don't even have experience, but they're so dialed into who they are as a person that all they want to do is billing, filing, paperwork, emails, all the stuff that would drive you crazy. And you go, that's my personality right there. That's all they want to do. They don't want to meddle in anything else. But if someone says, hey, I'm a Swiss Army, I can do this and I can do that and I can do that, all they do is they end up getting in the middle of a company and they disappear. They literally disappear because they don't shine anywhere. So all of a sudden you start giving them things to do and you end up scratching your head and getting frustrated because, and it's really hard to manage because there's so many moving parts. And
I think, Josh, that's the misconception that people have, is they just want to grow. And that's one of the things that, on the solar side, you kind of been teaching me. It was like, me, I'm like, all right, cool, let's go. Let's, run it up. Let's get 500 employees. Let's go. And you were like, no. We have to start slow. Like, talk about that process of kind of getting your feet grounded and then making that transition slow. And you were like, yo, hiring more people and growing is not always a good thing.
Yeah, but more revenue and more people doesn't always mean more profits. I mean, it just doesn't. And so you can add more people to the business, but for every $5 you bring in, if you have to spend $5.50 to pay that out, then you actually, now all you did was give yourself more headache, but not any more money. But it feels good because it feels like growth. It feels like opportunity. And so if you're talking just pure business, pure dollars and cents, I'm a big believer that you find a model. So you find out a way to make money. When I say a model, it doesn't have to be some fancy spreadsheet. Just learn how to make money, how that thing turns in that business, right? Doesn't matter if it's any sort of business. How do you make money doing it? And then prove that model out and prove it's sustainable and then prove you can duplicate it and then go crazy.
Yeah, and Josh,
once you know you can duplicate it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Josh, but that's what I mean by a winner. I don't want people on the phone when I say a winner, you feel like you're a winner because you have potential. You feel me, Josh? Like, you feel like you are a winner because you sing well. Well, you ain't put out an album yet, and you haven't sold any albums, and you ain't win a Grammy. You know, you haven't been featured with any other artist. You haven't opened up for anybody. You know, you're like, I'm a great speaker. Yeah, but you haven't had 3 or 4 or 5, 6 years of experience, and you've not opened up for somebody, or you've done 1 or 2 things, but you've not, you're not consistent. So when I talk about winning, I'm not talking about potential. I didn't attract CJ's parents on potential. Remember what I told you. This was the relationship started with CJ's father. The relationship with Carl actually started with his brother. This isn't, you know what I'm saying? And then their moms had to be like, whoa, that's what you got. You feel me? So CJ couldn't go to his mom. Carl couldn't go to his mom like, yo, man, hey, I heard my man speak one time. It was fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was no. He did this for this many years. He spoke here, here, and here. He's a pastor. He's been doing blah, blah, blah. He's married. He's got 2 children. He had this degree. He's come here to work on it. Like, yo, bro, when I talk about winning, I'm talking about winning. I'm not talking about we number 1. But you have never won a national title. You ain't won an NBA championship. You've never held a Lombardi trophy. Like, when I say winning, Nick Saban is a winner. You understand what I'm saying? He is a winner. You know, D'Antonio is a winner. Izzo is a winner. Coach K is a winner. Dean Smith is a winner. And so I'm saying to you that you've got to win. And a part of winning is not just being talented, it's having a system. Now, unfortunately for me, I had not fully developed that system, but I had a system when I met when I met Carl. We had a system. Josh came on, he saw they have a system. So a lot of you need to just get off just your potential talent. What's your system? What's your triangle? You know what I'm saying? Phil Jackson got a triangle. What's your system called? What are the 3 points of your system? What's your vision, your mission statement? Not something you just wrote on a piece of paper, but what are you doing that's working? What's your system? The whatever, 925, whatever. What's that thing that you have? My thing was
translated P90X and T25. P90X and T25.
Translated my age, because I don't know that stuff, is Tybo. My man had a system, y'all. I was doing Tybo. My man had a system. So these new dudes came in and saw what Tybo was doing, and now they've added hip hop to it or added whatever they've added to it. But my man, Tybo, that he was the first person, Billy Blanks, he was the first dude. He had a system. So you could do it for 5 minutes. You could do it for 15 minutes. You could do it for 30 minutes. He had an hour. He was traveling throughout the city. And people might have thought that little outfit he had on was funny. The little blue looking outfit was funny. But my man had a system, and he called it Tybo. And he was selling VHS tapes everywhere. And I was buying them and dropping them suckers in. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, what's your system? What's your triangle? What's your Tybo? What's your back in the day, the PC? What's your PC? You know, and when Josh said it, it hit me, because I remember Josh for years going in circles and wondering why I couldn't recruit high-level talent. I was like a chicken running around with my head cut off. I was doing 20 things. But now that I have a system and see like, yo, E, you just speak. Yo, Carl, you just do this. Yo, I'm going to do this. Yo, Josh, you do this. Yo, team, you do this. Now, bro, we killing the game. We killing the game. Somebody asked me yesterday, like, yo, E, I keep hearing you say do this, but what do you do? What are you doing every day? And I had to tell my man, all I'm doing is speaking, bruh. I'm not doing this no more. Carl's doing this. C's doing that. Josh doing this. So if you don't get anything else from this podcast, I really want you to understand, don't look to be next level until you get your system. So you spend as much time as you need that when you meet an Eric Thomas, I don't have 10 minutes to talk to you. I don't have 5 minutes to sit there and talk to you. You need to define it, the lowest common denominator. You need to be able to 1/3 me. You need to be able to 1/8 me. Like you can't 50 over 100 me. Like you got to 1/2. You got to break that thing down so much so that in 30 seconds, I understand everything I need to understand. 60 seconds, I know everything about your company. I know exactly what you're trying to accomplish, exactly what you're trying to do. And then I can make a intelligent decision if our brand alignment is a fit or not. But that 5-10 minutes, you know what that means? It means you're not really clear on where you're going. You're not really clear on what you're doing. And you cannot hire high-level talent unless they know that when they hitch their wagon to yours, that you guys are going to get to that doggone destination and you're going to reach some level of success. So Josh, appreciate that, man. You gave me a lot of clarity today on, you know, even me in terms of the school system and what I'm doing, how I need to make sure that we're able to truly define that thing in 30 seconds or less so that we can get this system going and put it in schools all across the country.
So C and E, let me just say one more thing too, guys. This is really important when you're starting a new business. People are going to come to you and they're going to tell you all they can do for you. They're going to tell you up and down all they can do for your business. And just ask them, so what do you need me for? I mean, what do you need me for if you can do all that? Why would you come work for me if you can do all that? See, I didn't come and align forces with ETA and with the three of you to do exactly what you guys do. So I can bring a different element. But if I came to E and said, hey, you need me on your team, why? Because I can open up for you and we'll kill the game. E's doing something for me at that point. I'm not doing anything for him. He's not. I'm not doing a thing for him.
We get a lot of that, Josh.
Oh,
He
I
must
know.
be in my email.
Yeah, I have
He
people.
must be in my email.
I have people that come to me all the time and say, hey, if you'll let me join the company, I can run the finances, I can do this, and I can do that. And I go, I'm doing you a favor. We've got that covered. You just want me to give you a job. You're not doing anything for me. Tell me what you can do for me that I'm not doing. And then I'll carve you a niche. So like Anders, who works with us, see, you know, when he gives me what he's going to do and he says, hey, when we're recruiting him, because the question is recruiting, I take what he says he'll accomplish, I cut it in half, and if I'm good with it, then I'm good with it, and we move forward.
What do you mean by that?
So he said,
Right, the cut in half. Boy.
yeah, so he says, I'm going to make 20 sales this month. I say, okay, cool. If he makes 10, am I good? Are we good as a company? And that's not being negative. I don't want to have any ill feelings towards this guy saying I'm a superstar. And him hitting 18, which would be through the roof, great. And him feeling like he underachieved and me feeling like I got duped. So if the business can turn off his 10, then everything he does above that's just great. And so it's not a doom and gloom. It is a looking at saying, okay, am I cool if he doesn't achieve all that he says he can? Because most humans can't, including myself, achieve what we say we think or what we think we can in the short amount of time that we think we can do it. And that's where most people just get themselves completely out of the game. They underestimate the time, the money, the energy it takes to get something off the ground. You know, we're talking
And the
about
resilience, right? And the resilience.
Oh, yeah,
because when you start it, it's going to fail.
yeah, it's gonna fail, and you're gonna lose sleep, and you're gonna lose energy, and you're gonna lose peace of mind, and you're gonna lose money, and you're gonna lose friends, and you're gonna lose at times even family if they're part of the business. There are things that are gonna happen if you're gonna stay in the business long enough. That there's a downside to every level that you achieve, and most people don't want to talk about that. So it's all top line, top line, top line. The reason why E or you or Carl or myself can now talk to people and they start talking about all they can do in business is we look at them and go, man, you young whippersnapper, you haven't actually done anything yet. You haven't hit one of those downsides of the levels. Sure, you've gone on a good 3-month run.
It sounds so good when I got it thought out on paper, though.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Hey,
but you haven't even.
sounds
I was just
good.
gonna say I got an email yesterday, Josh. Not to cut you, but I got an email yesterday, and somebody was asking about accreditation, Breathe University and its accreditation and that kind of stuff. And it got me to thinking. So just FYI, it takes 7 years. You have to be established for 7 years before you can even be considered for accreditation. So by the time you've heard about the University of Phoenix online, they have already put 7 years in. You know what I'm saying? Like when you hear about it, people are getting degrees, they've already put 7 solid years in. Now, it could be more. It has to be a minimum of 7 years. So when we talk about a system and knowing this kind of stuff, when we started the Breathe University, we started fully knowing that we were going after accreditation. Like that was the system, going back to what you were saying. But yeah, the reality is, like CJ just said, there are going to be so many roadblocks and hurdles that they have to make you go through 7 years first to prove yourself. You know what I mean? Because there's so many things financially, who knows what could happen with, you're talking about an online university, I'm using that as an example, but with any business, there's so many tech, software pieces you need that the company that you dependent on could fall, the accounting, there's so many pieces you have to go through these things. So to see the part that you hit on resilience is huge, because it's going to happen. In some regard, it is going to happen. And Josh being realistic about 10 versus 20, if I can still sustain the business with 10, absolutely, then let's roll. If you believe you can guarantee 20, chances are you're gonna hit 15 consistently. I only need 10 to rock the business. We killing it all the way through.
Yeah, no, 100%. And going that extra mile too, man, is crucial. I think, and we got a question here that's asking about separation and separating yourself from the competition. And one of the things that I always say in business, and you guys can speak to it, is when we look at, when I look at this particular industry, I always say, what are people not willing to do? You know what I mean? Like, what are people not willing to do? And like when we came in the game, people weren't willing to put out free content and free information, right? Why? Because they saw it as, wasted opportunity. You're giving out all your best stuff for free. Nobody's going to want it, but we were willing to go that extra mile. And in everything you do, to me, if you can go that extra mile, if the store down the street closes at 6, close at 7. You know what I'm saying? Like, find that extra thing. It was funny. I think I was telling Josh or E about it. I can't remember. But when I was in Manhattan a couple weeks ago, I was with my boy Christian, right? And we were driving. He came and picked me up for dinner. We were driving down the street, and he was like, oh, he runs a Mercedes dealership. And he was like, oh, here's, one of my competitors. This is a true story, right? So he was like, here goes one of my competitors. So he was like, let me show you their store, because his was farther away. He was like, I know these guys, whatever. So we jump out of the car, and we're going to go to this beautiful Mercedes dealership, right? And it might have been 7 o'clock. And we get up to the door at like 6:58, and there's like a security guard right there, and he doesn't recognize Christian or me, obviously, anything. So he just looks at us and goes, no, we're closed. And I was like, man, all right, cool. Now, I know I might not have looked like I was about to buy a Benz, but my boy Christian was, dressed to the T's because he just came from work. So I'm like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm about to sell a Benz and somebody coming up trying to pull on the door handle, by all means, come in, whatever. That's neither here nor there. But there was a guy who went up and pulled on the door handle right after us, right? Like, he was like right behind us. He looked too, he did the same thing. And he started walking off, with his wife, or well, I guess it was his wife. And he was walking off. And he was like, oh, they're closed. And we kind of whatever. And he started walking away. And my boy Christian ran after him, goes to him and says, hey, I run a Mercedes dealership. It's not that far from here. What are you looking for? And the guy goes, well, I was honestly just looking for like a jacket or like some paraphernalia. So my boy Christian was like, cool, give me your address. I'll send you some. You know what I'm saying? So he like exchanges information with the guy right then and there, right? Christian goes to his store the next morning, sends him the stuff. And then about a week later, this is just beginning of last week, Christian sends me a picture of the dude at the store with him, came in and bought a Benz from him.
Wow.
And I was just like, yo, and he sent me, he was like geeked up. He was like laughing because he was like, yo, you remember that guy? I sent him some gear. And then lo and behold, now Christian didn't know if my man could afford. And matter of fact, once he said he was there, I'm not gonna lie. Once he said he was just there to buy a shirt, I was like, oh, okay.
Right, I'm through.
You ain't got, but Christian followed all the way through and was like, yo, I don't know what his deal is, but he likes Mercedes-Benz enough. If he ever wants to buy one, he's got my card, he's got my information. And he sent me a picture, and the dude was in there shaking his hand, bought a Benz from him the next week. And I'm like, yo, That is what entrepreneurship is about. That's what going to get it looks like. And a lot of people, man, if you're going to go in and, like I always say, if you're going to go into business and do exactly what somebody who's already been established for 100 years is doing, why would I convert my allegiance to you? You have to do something that that person or that business is not willing to do. And most of you coming in and you're not finding those gaps. And I think that's what Josh is excellent at. Even E and Carl as well, is coming in, finding the gaps. What are they doing wrong? What could they be doing better? And then blowing that up, right? It's like there's nothing new under the sun. You're not going to invent anything new. You're not going to say anything new. The things that Eric Thomas has said is not anything that's never been said before. You love him because of the way he says it and the way in which, it hits you. It's a different mechanism, a different delivery. So for you entrepreneurs out there who are starting companies, don't just start the exact same business that's down the street. You'll be out of business. They've already been there. They've already got a customer base. If you're going to snatch people away, you got to provide something new and exciting. And so, yeah, that was just an example of,
Hey, CJ,
one
let me ask
entrepreneur
you.
going to get it, man.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. How long has Christian been selling cars?
Christian's been in the car, man, probably 15, 20 years.
Okay, so I want everyone to listen very carefully. You have to stay in business long enough to find the gaps, because your gap you think is a gap is not a gap when you start a business. I'm letting you know. You think you know what the industry's like that you're entering, but you have no clue till you're in the industry. You need to stay in business long enough to find those wins. The year one, month one, 25-year-old Christian didn't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
He didn't do that. So people they have their little business plan. They do everything. They say, this is the gap. This is how we're going to exploit it. I will tell you 95% of the time, you're wrong on how you're going to exploit that industry and how you're going to find your gap. You have to get in there and you have to stay in business long enough to find your wins.
Yeah, and so sometimes it just becomes an endurance race. Like I think about it all the time, and even going through the book, Carl, and stuff like that. Like, there was multiple opportunities to quit. You know what I'm saying? Just like I'm just be real. There was multiple opportunities. There was other job offers. There were things that looked more lucrative. There were all of these things, but like I love the quote that says like, hurry up and fail. Like, we start failing so much that like you cross off all the things that aren't working. And some of it, you're right, Josh, it's just an endurance game. How long can you stay in? How much can you learn from every single failure? How long can you stay in it? Because most people throw in the towel. And so if the half the competition is just eliminating themselves through sheer osmosis, then, only the strong and the few are going to be standing. And for us in this particular game, it wasn't a sprint. It was a marathon, and we're still running that marathon. But you're absolutely right. Sometimes it's just an endurance game. And if you need to get your endurance up, man, you need to holler at Organifi. Okay, Organifi is killing the game right now, man. I'm on the green juice heavy. I'm on the red juice, the probiotics. Like, I'm killing it, like, for real. Feel good. I feel better than I've ever felt. I'm just being honest with y'all. I'm about to be 35 in a couple weeks. Wow, I feel old. Let me tell you something. I'm old, but I don't feel old. And here's how I know I'm old. I was watching the Cleveland game last night, right? And I was like, man, D-Wade's still out there. D-Wade is old as all get out. And they were like, D-Wade, 35 years old. I was like, whoa.
I felt it too, see. Right, I
was like, wait, I'm 35. You mean to tell me I'll be out there just the old grandfather? So, but honestly, guys, I'm not joking. I feel better in terms of my energy, just my workout regimen than I've ever felt, man. And you guys have been hearing me talk about being on Organifi for some time now. Again, guys, we came to them and asked them to sponsor this because it was something that we believed in. It's not somebody who called us and was like, hey, can you promote this? We've been on this for a while, man. And I can't tell you how good I feel, how much energy I have. I told you, no more energy drinks, no foolishness like that. I'm off of any type of Red Bull. I told you, I sneak a Red Bull and not tell anybody every now and then. I'm off that altogether completely, man. And I feel great throughout the day, just to be honest, man. And the Organifi has truly helped with that. And if you guys want to try it out again, man, we're giving a sweet discount, right? You get, 20% off, Carl? For using our promo code SUCCESS. So that's Organifi, ORGANIFI.com. Use the promo code SUCCESS, man, and get 20% off right away. And see how you feel. Write in, tell me how you feel. Let us know if it's helping you. Give us some of the testimonials. I got some testimonials in my email. I don't know where they are right now, but people have been emailing me. I'll read some of those next week. But Organifi.com, check it out. We're working with them. Also, man, Josh, before we transition, because I want you to talk about the schools, and I want to talk about, I know where are we on time? We're good on time. Real quick, I know we have, I mentioned it, but we're actually creating jobs, and we have some opportunities on the solar side as well. So Harbor Solar, you want to tell the people who are interested and maybe in the South Carolina market, who we have listening to us, if they're interested, they can get involved?
Yeah. Go visit us at harborsolar.com, and you can inquire there, and you can also please go and like our Facebook page. It's Harbor Solar SC. So if you look up Harbor Solar, you'll find it. It's at Harbor Solar SC, and you'll be able to see.
SC like South Carolina.
You got it, exactly. And you'll be able to see some of our most recent installs and what our team's up to, and really be able to track the company and from this podcast.
Man, installs look beautiful. So whether you live in that area and you're looking to get solar going, which is solar, man, Josh has taught me so much about it. It's super exciting, super cool. And I've seen some of the installs that look just gorgeous, man. We got some drone shots of the installs. The guys are out just killing it, man. The customer satisfaction is through the roof. We're getting great reviews. You can go on the Facebook page and see some of the reviews we got. It's been fun, man. It's been a fun process, and just me getting to learn more about it. Obviously, creating green energy, lowering people's utility bills. It's just been awesome to be a part of a business again that not only does well financially, but also helps people out, helps the environment. It's been great. So go check that out, Harbor Solar, and give us a shout there. Of course, you guys can always reach us at info@etinspires as well with any additional feedback. Now, I want to talk to you really quick about doing your best and making and earning what you're supposed to earn so that you can do what you're supposed to do. Because he's a prime example of somebody who, the Robin Hood approach, right? Like that's something that you've always been big on. Like you're able to go and charge massive amounts to these corporate companies, and deservedly so. I mean, obviously you're one of the best in the world. We saw that again with the Love Conquers video. Shout out to everybody who watched that. We're over 2 million views in less than 2 weeks, which is just incredible. And you did it again. But I want you to talk to people because some people, there's this not negative stereotype, but some people like, oh, you're just about making money. You're trying to make money, to be greedy. And I think our company is a prime example of making money to create opportunities for other people. None of us drive around in Bentleys. None of us have these mega mansions with pools in the basement. Like that's not what we're on. But all of us, have been very philanthropic. And I want you to talk about how it's your duty to do what you need to do on that end so that you can do what you want to do in terms of the service, learning, in terms of, all of the things that we're able to do. So talk about Florence, talk about what we're doing in the schools, the impact that we're having. I know some of you who follow us on social media probably have seen in the classroom, like actually teaching. And it's just incredible to watch be at this level of his career and then doing what most would consider to be going backwards, going into the schools to teach, middle school and high school, kids. Talk to us about that and that transition and why it's important to go out and do what you reach your maximum earning potential so that you can make a difference.
Yeah, well, see, first of all, shout out to Jimmy Shaw, Dr. Shaw with the Florence School District in Alabama, smaller town. Josh and him got together and, made this thing happen. So shout out to him for having the presence of mind to even reach out, because there are a lot of people that don't reach out to us, because they feel in their mind like, yo, that company way above us. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's no way possible we can get them to a little city like Florence, Alabama. And just shout out to Dr. Shaw for having the presence of mind to be in BU, to be in the community, and then to reach out and say, hey guys, I don't know what y'all charge. I don't even know if I have what it takes financially, but I want you here. And so Josh and they were able to work something out. And I think Josh, originally with the contract, I think we were going to go 3 times throughout the course of the school year.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, so I think we had planned on doing 2 this semester and then 1 next year in February. And so when I got there, I was amazed, that this school district would give me the reins over the whole school district. You know what I'm saying? They like, look, from kindergarten all the way up, they had the custodial workers, the administrative assistants. Like, he shut the entire school district down the first day I trained. Unbelievable. So I was super excited. I've been able to do a couple schools, but they kind of like, this is what we want. He had the presence of mind to say, look, we don't know what we want. We know that we're failing and we want your help. Now, here's some ideas we have, but go ahead and take over. And what happens, like Josh was saying, I realized, that what they were able to pay, we were only under contract 3 visits, but I knew that what needed to get done couldn't get done in 3 visits, if it makes sense, I just knew that, like, what you guys want me to accomplish and what I need to get done, I can't do that, and here was the deal. The deal was, we have enough to pay you to come and train our teachers. But come on, how are we going to change the school district with just the teachers? And so then I came back another time and we did the students. But come on, how am I going to change the community talking to teachers, students, and then some of the movers and shakers in the city? I got to get to the parents, And so when I came this time, I brought a squad. I brought 4 individuals with me. I brought my son, I brought Sko, I brought Lashana, we brought Sophie. So it's 5 of us there. And now with the 5 of us being there, I've got 4 other ears now, 4 other individuals who are watching me and critiquing me. I've got 4 other individuals who's sitting with, bro, and here's the deal. Some of you guys want to be so big. Listen to what Josh is saying. It's, E.T., why would you do Florence, Alabama? I would rather do Florence, Alabama than Detroit, than Chicago, than L.A., Do you understand how big the Detroit public school system is? It's a losing battle, Josh. Do you know how big the Chicago public school system is? It's a losing battle. I can't go in there and change that with the system we have now, Josh. We're working the system. We're fleshing the system out. So Florence really makes sense because I sat in one room, a small meeting room with every single principal at every single school, and we were able to talk for an hour and flesh some stuff out and put a plan together. I can't do that in Detroit. I couldn't do that in Chicago. So I'm actually getting a chance, Josh, to work the system. And then I got CJ Old School, which is 10-minute drive. My boy now Bogan, who was once the coach, is an assistant principal. And now I'm going in free to do what, Josh? So it's one thing to write the curriculum. It's one thing to give it to the teachers, right? It's another thing when you go in the classroom and you actually do it yourself. And now you can send them video of you actually sitting down and showing them, if I was to implement it, this is what it would look like. Josh, here's the big piece.
Proof of concept.
Let me tell y'all something.
Field of dreams. If you build it, they will come. It's the field of dreams.
Josh, can I tell you what's so deep though? When I took the worksheet that a group of educated people, you talking about Lashana, law degree, you could talk about Tay as a nurse, Carl, 2 degree, bruh. When we sat in that room, LaToya, a degree, Ken, a degree, do you understand that when we put that document together and we took it into schools and the kids started reading it, Josh, I understood that, it's too deep. It's too deep. You had all these educated people putting this document together. We get in the classroom and the kids start reading it. I realized some of this stuff don't even make sense. It made sense when educated folks was doing it, but when you go in and giving it to a 9th grader, bro, I'm like, that don't even read right. That doesn't even make sense. Like, we got to start all over from scratch. The examples that we use, too much. Some of the words, too deep. Like, we got it. And so, Josh, that couldn't have happened if I only wrote it with the crew, trained it with the teachers. By me going in class and actually doing it, and having the students read it, I'm like, we got to go back to the drawing board. We got to go back. And so Florence has given us a chance to do something that is scalable. It's not the same pressure. It's not some of the same challenges that you have in a major city. And so, a lot of it is giving back initially. But when you start doing it, you start realizing, it's a lot of tweaks to be made. And so I'm actually in the lab myself on Eric Thomas. I'm actually in the lab on the worksheets. I'm actually in the lab on the videos. I'm watching the videos with the kids and saying, okay, how does the music, okay, how does that feel? It felt great when me and Carl and Ken and Sko was doing it in the room. It felt great. But when you put it in the classroom on the screen TV, you know what I'm saying, with the little baby speakers, it's about 85% done. We need to go back and fix it. So for me, see, is what Josh said. I'm able to see my own gaps, the company's gaps, as I am influenced. And yeah, while we may be going back more than what we said and doing free work, a part of it is not necessarily free. A part of it is, this is an opportunity to show this city that we love them and we're grateful that they gave us an opportunity. And yeah, you couldn't pay what corporate could pay, but what you did was enough to get us in the door, and now we're gonna take this thing and take it to another level. So
Yeah,
I envision.
I really hope people are catching that, because I think, man, you talking about the #1 motivational speaker in the world, talking about he's starting small. Like, I just hope you, if you ain't hear nothing else he said, I'm hoping that those of you out there who want to be entrepreneurs or starting companies understand what he just said. He just said, I wasn't ready for Chicago and New York or Detroit on that level. I still wanted to start small, perfect my craft, get a proof of concept before we go taking this to these larger school districts and start implementing this stuff big time. And that's the problem some of y'all have, man. You're too high on yourself. You don't have the expertise you think you have. And so you run straight into a Chicago and they shoot you down and you feel like your idea ain't no good. No, that's not the problem. The problem is you're not willing to start small. You're not willing to gain proof of concept. I tell people all the time, give them proof of concept. Show them. Don't just come to me talking about I could come on ETA and design this, and this. No, show me what you did in the past. Show me how, revenue grew as a result of what you were doing in these other businesses. Don't just come in talking about what you can do. Start somewhere where you can prove yourself. Start small, improve yourself, and then you'll be ready to go to that next level.
Can I say this too? Can I say this real quick too? Yeah, I just want to say this real quick too. Here's the other blessing, Josh. I don't have to worry about the other top motivational speakers following me to Florence. You understand what I'm saying? I don't have to worry about them following me to Florence. I don't have to worry about them being in Huntsville, Alabama. You feel me? I don't have to worry about them going and spending 40 minutes with kindergartners.
Separation.
I don't have to worry about that. I got my own lane right here. The other 9, whoever the top 10 motivational speakers are in the world, I don't have to worry about them following me to these little towns, these little markets. It ain't no comp. I don't have to worry about them going and teaching in the classroom. Like, they can watch me if they want to. They can watch me and see what I'm doing, but they're not about to go duplicate that. These kids not bums in seats. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not about to make $5,000 off of a 5-year-old. So I don't have to worry about that. Like, you only gonna do that if you real. So what I'm trying to explain is I'm separating myself by going and doing something that I know ain't nobody else about to do that. And if they are, more power to them. But the reality is, I guarantee you the top 10 motivational speakers, they working on the TED Talk right now. They working on the next big book right now. Yeah. They working on the next. I don't have to worry about that. But here's the other thing that is going to be a blessing. That 5-year-old, that 10-year-old that's following us right now, that 5-year-old whose hands I'm shaking, one day is going to be in college. He's going to be in the NBA, the NFL. One day he's going to work for a company. You feel me? So I'm pouring into him now. And tomorrow, they're going to pour into us.
Yep. Yeah, you sound like you ready to go do a session right now.
Right this second. Right this second.
No doubt. Let's transition into Ask ET. Man, shout out to Game Changers, man, as our sponsors for Ask ET, man. For anybody who's looking to speak, be a speaker. Listen, I know you guys have been hearing us talk about it. We met up. We meet up every quarter, once a quarter. Man, we've been having some phenomenal results. We're getting some people certified. Shout out to our certified speakers now, man, who are our first group to get certified. I've been getting so many emails about when can we start. Listen, Carl, give them the website that they can go to and leave their information. We're just about in the process of bringing in a new cohort to certify. Again, a speaker training, but more than speaker training. Josh and I had this conversation, and Carl, you were on the line too. We had the conversation.
Correct you.
It's really entrepreneurship training. So if you have a business idea or you're working on something, you want to become a better communicator and a better entrepreneur altogether. I mean, we are together for 2 days, once a quarter. We're on the phone, weekly. getting it in, man, just going to that next level, and people's business ideas and their entrepreneurship, everything is going to the next level. So it started as a speaker training program, but for anybody who has an idea, a business opportunity, or you just need help and guidance, man, I'm there for the branding side. Carl is there for the social media and the media side. E, of course, providing that motivation and inspiration you need. Josh with the business advice. We're really giving you, that information across all levels, and you're sitting down with us round table style. So it's just a fun environment. Carl, if they want more information, and I know we're getting ready to open that list up, tell them where they can go and sign up to be a part. And if you want to leave your information and you just have questions, somebody from our team will give you a shout and see if it's right for you.
Yep. So, hey, guys, go to etagamechangers.com. etagamechangers.com. And you can leave, there's a button there that just says join the waiting list. And we just literally want your name, email if you're interested. And like C said, we'll have somebody reach out to you either by email or just call you just to kind of talk it through. Like, what are you guys looking to do? What's your business idea? Like, whatever. If you're speaking, what group do you want to speak to? And we'll kind of we've put the packages together, man. And like C said, we have some certified speakers actually on that page already. You can go click to learn more about our certified speakers, and you can see them on that page as well. But this is real, guys. We're seeing people come through, and the growth. Josh, talk about the growth from quarter to quarter with the people that we've seen. It is insane. It is insane, y'all. So etagamechangers.com.
I'm about ready to take them on tour. They're so good, man. It's been incredible to watch the growth. And sometimes, man, for real, man, we it's something that I believe in fully. But man, we get gym memberships, we join a gym, we train our bodies, but very few of us train our minds regularly, man. And that's what the opportunity we're providing with Game Changers, and also BU as a whole. Shout out to BU, our BU Family 100-Day Challenge. Man, you see the results people are getting from this 100-day challenge, man. You have got to push yourself mentally, man. You got to surround yourself with other lions, other people looking to go to that next level. So join us, man, in some capacity, man. Start exercising that brain and taking yourself to the next level. So, Carl, give them the site one more time.
Yep, ETA, Eric Thomas and Associates, etagamechangers.com.
All right, let's go to Ask ET. Scott in Atlanta said, ET, do you have any pregame meal or something special you eat before you speak?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Vegan ice cream.
Yeah, nothing, bro. I've never.
Are you still a vegan
before.
or no?
Oh, no questions asked, bro. Yeah, we're gonna be doing this.
I know you said Thanksgiving was rolling around. You wasn't sure if you was gonna be able to.
Oh, I'm sure I'm not gonna be doing the Thanksgiving. I'm 100% sure I won't be doing the Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm not. I'm hoping that one day ain't about to. You know what I'm saying? One day ain't about to disqualify me. It's what my hopes is. But if it does, I'm disqualified. But no.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. Actually, that's a good question.
Yeah. I guess
you can come off and come back on.
Yeah, I have to ask the vegan community.
Hey.
Go for it, Carl.
To answer the question, though, I've heard E say before, that he actually likes to not eat before meals. So, E, I've heard you say that in terms of, and it's
I thought that too, Carl, but I seen E smash a couple of times right before
smash before, right. Hey, the rationale was so deep. I was like, wow, E, like he said, literally, he likes to be hungry physically. So, like, it kind of gives him momentum. Like, I want to stay hungry, like, not just telling you to stay hungry and want it, but physically, I'm depriving myself of that meal. And I'm like, yo, it's deep. Yeah. But like she said, occasionally I seen him hit a Chipotle.
Maybe just like, just a little couple bites here and there.
And I'll be honest, though.
right.
I'll be honest, guys. If I'm with CJ and Inky and Jeremy, like, for real, I'm just being real. I can eat now. It's not the same. It's not the same challenge, not the same stress. I got 3 other dudes getting up on the mic. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there for about an hour and a half. It's not a whole lot for me to say, listen to these guys. So for years, when I was by myself and felt the weight of, everybody riding on my shoulder, like I can't make no error. I can't make no mistake. I'm being real. It's easy. And I was with my wife yesterday, and she's like, yo, you eating. You don't never eat before you speak. I was like, I feel like I'm coming here talking to these students on what it takes to be successful business-wise. Like, I don't feel like I got to go in there and go dog. Like, it's just a different whatever. So I do notice when I have a corporate company I've never spoken to before, an NFL team, I wasn't doing that before. Like, I'd come in like, yo, E, you got to kill them. But I'm just going to be real now. Now that things have changed with Inky, Jers, whatever, having Josh doing the entrepreneur thing, speaking more now, I don't feel the pressure that I used to feel before. But guys, for years, for those of you who are on the solo, you don't necessarily have a team. I just wanted to be cautious that I didn't get comfortable. Like, you eating, bro. I ain't trying to be funny, but when you eat, to me, that's like a relaxing thing. Like, eating.
Oh, you definitely ain't got the same edge after you eat.
You feel me?
He done caught the itis. You like, look, put my PowerPoint up. Y'all can read the PowerPoint.
You feel me? So I'm just saying, Carl, and I have to be cautious too, because sometimes people ask me a question. I can't answer it as the 46-year-old Eric that's been speaking for 20-some years. You just started 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? I can't talk to you like, people ask me, what time you go to bed? Well, I gotta be real with you. I try to go to bed 9:30, 10. I'm talking the old ET, the new ET, I'm with my wife. We traveling. I might not go to bed at 11:15. You can't do what I do now. You know what I'm saying? You got to do what I do.
Right, you called me last night at like 10:15.
Right.
I was like, bro, I'm asleep.
Right.
I got kids.
Right. You feel me?
I was knocked out. I was like, oh, I thought something was wrong. He don't never call me that late. But I forgot he was an hour behind. I was like, it was only 9:18. I woke up this morning like, oh, something wrong?
No, it's good. So next question. There you go, Carl.
Next question is for Josh. Victor in Miami said, hey, Josh, do you find that incentivizing your sales staff works? In my case, it only seems to work for the same people every time. Need some guidance on how to bring up that bottom rung.
It's a good question.
Yeah, it's a great question. The answer is yes, we incentivize all the time. And I worked on a competition for Harbor last night where we're handicapping our sales force. So what I mean by that is our number one guy has to do twice as many to beat the bottom rung guys. So it evens out the sales force. So we get creative on how we give the bottom a chance to go. But here's the other thing: your top guys turn the business. So if it only motivates them and you're getting the business out of them, motivate them more. I mean, just because they're good doesn't mean they don't deserve more. So just keep feeding the beasts and letting them go do their thing, and then just keep hiring new people in the organization, and some will turn to that top level.
Yep, let's see. We got a bunch here. I'm trying to rifle through these. Gerard says, you guys will never know how much you guys helped me with the podcast. To show my gratitude, I'd love to send you a pic I drew. I'm an artist. Do you have a physical address we can send it to? What is it? 11615?
11615.
Yep. Go for it, Carl. I don't know it. I'm sitting here.
Got it. 11615 Hartel Road. And that's Grand Ledge, Michigan. So 11615 Hartel, Hartel, Hartel Road, Grand Ledge, Michigan, zip code 48837.
All righty. Let's jump to Jason in Madison. Says, hey guys, just want to let you know I love the podcast. You guys make my Friday morning commute ridiculously fun. Quick question. I've heard your stories of how you all proposed, and it's just about that time for me. I bought the ring already and I'm ready to propose, but I'll be honest, I have zero game and zero strategy on how to approach this. Any tips would be greatly appreciated. Well, first of all, Jason, don't ask any of these guys. First of all, he's a hater. You know what I'm saying? He's a hater, and Carl's about as romantic as a German Shepherd. So, you know what I'm saying?
I was just going to say, it's all CJ on that one. It's all C.
So I'll take this one, boy. Will, hit some music for me, Will. Jason, listen to me, man. This is a special moment that you'll never get back. All right, you got one chance to do this right. Now, if you do it wrong, it could be the difference between you looking like a moron and her saying no, and having your feelings hurt. But if you get it right, this could be the best moment of your life. So, this is my suggestion. Find out, you should already know what your fiance likes. Does she like to be outdoors? Does she like to be indoors? Does she like a lot of people around? Does she like a little quiet time? All right, find out what her needs are. All right, does she send you any Google Calendar reminders that maybe, you can refer to in your email of stuff that she needs done on a regular basis? Just propose at the gas station while you filling her tank up. Because apparently, okay, I got off track. I'm sorry. Let me get back. Because I wanted to answer this seriously.
No, you didn't get off track. You didn't get off track.
No, I did. I started putting my own stuff up in there. Okay, so look. Does she like the outdoors? Does she like whatever she likes, man? Try to be in her environment, not something that's for you. We talked about it before. Don't do it at a basketball game or football game. Do it somewhere where she would like to be. Does she like to go ice skating? I actually saw this on a movie not that long ago. It looked pretty cool. Somebody did it while they were ice skating. There was just a few people on the ice skating rink. It's about to be winter time. If you got an ice skating rink around, go, hold each other, drink some hot chocolate, get down on one knee on the ice skating rink, all right? Very romantic. Make sure you get on one knee. There's this whole thing going around where you could just ask her now standing up. Kill that. Go back old school. It's mandatory that you get on one knee and ask her to marry you. Make sure you look into her eye, and also don't forget to ask the question. All right, because most people, I see a lot of dudes now, they get so nervous and they get down on the knee and they just look, and obviously everybody knows what it means, but she still wants to hear those sweet words, will you marry me? And if you do that, you're gonna be all right. Now, if any of you bums want to give some advice, Jason, I advise against it, whatever they're about to say. But if anybody would like to add in on what I already blessed him with, feel free.
Hey, Jason, don't let the gorilla fool you. I've been in this thing for 27 years. And my wife is loving it, so don't let him fool you. But I agree with C, man. Just make sure you know.
You proposed at Chili's over an onion with an onion ring.
I was 19
so we don't
years
want
old.
to hear anything. Exactly.
So I was 19 years old. I thought it was sweet. It must have worked because she said yes.
Hey, I have a question, E.
Hey, start small. We just talked about
twice a day.
Small.
Yeah, I just have one question. Are we changing it from the marriage part from TGIM to CJIM? I just want to
that might be a good idea.
I mean, you just ran with that thing for a minute, so.
Oh man, let me tell you something. I got more where that came from, Josh. This is.
I've been
carrying
been
these
putting in
guys on
100
this
days,
podcast
y'all.
for 2 years. I don't plan on stopping anytime soon.
Josh, he been practicing. He been putting in 100 days, so he writing that zone
100
now.
day challenges.
Yeah, that sounded like you got that answer a few weeks ago and did some research. I'm just saying.
Hey, I'll tell you this though, Josh.
Hey man,
Hey, Josh,
no research needed. Off the top of the dome.
I tell you
freestyle,
this, Josh.
guys, freestyle.
He's sweet with it, but I want to get Candace on one of these podcasts to mix it up a little bit.
No. Not coming off the Google Calendar invite. We need a couple weeks before we get her out there. So. So that's it, man. I don't think we got any more. We got a few more, but we'll save them for
next week
because we're running a bit long.
Thanks, Josh.
Somebody got something they want to say?
I just want to say thank Josh for being on. I loved it. It was refreshing.
Yeah, thank you, fellas.
Yeah, no, it lightens my load of carrying you two. So anytime we can get a guest,
thanks, Josh.
And I don't have to do all the heavy lifting myself. It's greatly appreciated. Another one, humility, Josh. Another one of my great values that these guys have grown to love on the podcast. No, in all seriousness, man, thank you guys so much. Shout out to everybody who's been emailing us from the addiction episode, man. We've had a ton of people email us and say that they've reached out to Adam and he's been helping get family members and loved ones and all kind of people placed in treatment. So that just is a huge blessing, man, that we're able to do this and, actually impact some lives going forward. So that's awesome. Real quick, some announcements. We have next week, we're going to be in Chicago for our entrepreneurship training, man. Super excited about that. So that is, if you guys will hear this on, Thursday, Friday, so that'll be next weekend in Chicago. Still a couple tickets left, man. If you want to go on etinspires.com/events and grab a ticket, come meet us in Chicago. Josh will be there. I'll be there, Carl, E, of course, man, the whole squad where we are. It was so much fun when we did it in Detroit, man. Just spend the whole day together, asking questions, interacting, that whole nine, man, getting that, very specific pointed information to take yourself and your business to the next level. That is the 29th of October in Chicago.
Hey, and just so they know, this one is intimate, guys. Like, we want you guys to come with your specific
Yeah, this is not stay ready.
Yeah,
this is a different vibe for sure. It's hopefully we try to keep it to right around 100 people, Carl.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, as opposed to 600, 700, 800 at Stay Ready, where it's just an audience, man. This is much more intimate feel. So we'd love to have you join us there in Chicago. After that, we are in LA. All right, we're coming to the West Coast. For those of you asking, when are we coming to the West Coast? You in San Francisco, Sacramento, San Diego, all over. We are bringing the Stay Ready tour there, man. It has just been incredible. I mean, and Josh, you're on here now. You can speak to it, but the level that these guys are on right now, I would put it up against any speaker tour that anybody's ever seen. I mean, it is phenomenal. It's funny. It's engaging. It's emotional. It'll push you. It'll make you reflect. It'll make you think. It'll give you information. It's just been incredible. So if you're
awesome.
anywhere on the West Coast, anywhere near, yep. Go ahead, Josh. What were your thoughts about the tour so far?
I mean, every stop's been incredible, and every stop's different. So every stop is taking on a life of its own, and between the four speakers, the hosts, just the whole thing, it's a giant party that you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll be motivated, you'll reflect, you'll think about your life, you'll make some changes, and you'll walk out with tangible things to be able to improve your life. It's just awesome.
Yep. So November 12th. All right, come out and celebrate my birthday with me too, man. November 7th. I'll be 35 years old. Goodness gracious. And Carl, when is your birthday? Don't let me forget.
Oh, man.
Tomorrow or something?
23rd. No. We got a couple of days of 23rd. Hey, I forgot, see.
Yeah, I'll forget.
23rd.
I'll definitely forget. So happy birthday to
Happy
Carl.
birthday. I'm getting it out now. Happy birthday.
So y'all hit Carl up, man. Tell him happy birthday. His birthday's in 5 days.
Yeah, is it tomorrow? I love it. See,
I told you, that's one thing we don't really do.
it's
it like
all the
that.
same.
We don't do the
Yeah.
birthdays. So, we try to grind hard all year long and then hopefully take a trip. Speaking of which, you're supposed to be planning our next trip, man. We ain't had a trip or vacation in a while. So
I was going to say, our birthday is whenever we do that trip. That's our birthday.
yeah, exactly. That definitely is a birthday. So I'm sure you'll be working on your birthday because I'll be working on mine as well. But November 12th, man, come out and join us. It's going to be awesome. LA, all right, West Coast, we in the building. And then also in March, man, we're getting ready for the Phenomenal Cruise. Man, so many people been hitting us up saying they got their ticket for that. Super pumped, super excited about that. He's going to be doing some dope wake-up sessions on the boat, man. We're just going to be riding and taking in that fresh air. It's my first time cruising, so I'm excited. I know, Josh, you've been on a bunch of cruises, and E, you've been on a bunch. Carl, did you say, Carl, you've been on a cruise?
That's my first.
Oh, first one for Carl, too.
Man.
So, come join us, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. We are on just a 5-star, top-of-the-line boat that's just like crazy. I saw like a YouTube video or something showing us what the boat looked like, but it's like brand new, 5-star. It's going to be super fun. So come join us there. Go to phenomenalcruise.com, right? Phenomenalcruise.com,
Yes,
man, to sign up. If you got any questions, again, guys, just hit us up at info@etinspires.com, info@etinspires.com. You got any questions about the cruise, we'll be glad to help you out with that. Other than that, E, do you got anything else? Am I missing anything, guys, before we let the people go on about their day?
no sir.
All right, ET, hit us with a vegan nugget of the day.
Man, I'm gonna go strong 6-piece vegan nugget. Look, guys, you heard me say success series, the Thank God It's Monday video that came out. Like, for real, don't ask for permission, man. You know what I'm saying? Some things you need permission for, when you were younger, field trips, etc. But for real, know your worth, man. There's too many of y'all walking around here, looking for other people to validate you. You can't do it if you're not being affirmed. Look, know your worth. Look in the mirror. Don't wait for the next door neighbor to tell you how intelligent, how beautiful you are, how gifted you are, how you can make your dreams become a reality. Like, yo, it's time out for that. That person that you're looking to tell you that, first of all, they trying to live their life. They trying to handle their business. They don't have time. They don't have time for that. And so you're looking for other people to do something for you, and you getting upset and you getting angry and you wasting, literally you wasting time, you wasting emotion. I thought they owe me. Look, don't nobody owe you nothing. You owe you, right? So I just want you to stop looking for permission. Give yourself permission to be great. Give yourself permission to be wealthy. Give yourself permission to be healthy. Give yourself permission to be in loving, healthy relationships. Give yourself permission to go. It was funny. I told somebody I'm looking for a house, and they were like, you moving from Michigan? I was like, no, I'm not moving from Michigan. They was like, what do you mean? Well, how are you going to be in 2 states? I said, I'm not the only person that will have multiple homes in multiple states. I give myself permission not to live like the people think I should live, but live the way that I feel like I deserve to live. My wife needs some vitamin D, and we don't have a whole bunch in the wintertime in Detroit. So we're going to go somewhere and get some vitamin D. And I don't need no disrespect. I don't need my mama permission to have 2 houses in 2 states. I don't need my daddy permission to have 2 houses in 2 states. I ain't called Josh and say, is it okay? I just called Josh and was like, yo, hey, in terms of real estate and property, I got some questions I want to ask you. So I'm not asking for my kids, Daddy, you leaving us? I'm not asking permission. I am going to do what's in the best interest of my family, you know, my wife, you know, our, what do you call this, empty nest season. So do me a favor, man, stop asking people for permission for what they don't have the right to give you permission for. It's your life. Take control of it, man, and do the things that you love and the things you dream of. So that's my vegan nugget for today.
Hey, appreciate that nugget of the day. Y'all go to iTunes, leave us that review. Appreciate you being on, Josh. I'll see all of y'all next week.
You don't worry about tomorrow. You concentrate on this opportunity with all your might, with all your soul, with all your heart.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy E.T. Look, man, first and foremost, man, I just want to say thank you to everybody out there. Look, we got a special announcement. I know it's a lot going on in the country right now, and on behalf of ETA and the ETA family, you know, we're trying to do our part to bring inspiration and hope. And we've decided, you know, over the last 3 or 4 years that the school system across this country is going to be what we focus on. And so there's so many causes right now. And every single cause, guys, we should give our attention to, you know. But we've picked our spot, you know, we've got to the spot, and we've been trying to help our teachers here. Look, let's just be honest. Our teachers are going through so much. They are underpaid, you know, underappreciated, undervalued, right? And we've been doing our part on YouTube, as well as visiting different schools and different school districts across the nation, and really just giving them tools that they need to help our students be the best students they could be and to dominate. You know, let's not forget, you know, we are a superpower, and in order to stay there, we've got to do our part to help America's future. So we need your help. Look, we don't ask for favors often, but we need your help. We want to show these teachers how much we value them. And so what we're asking you to do is to donate. Look, so on behalf of AT&T, I just want to shout out to Ron and my boy Sean, who sent phones, who sent iPads and tablets for our kids and other trinkets. And so we're asking you to do the same thing for us. Look, we're asking for anything. Chipotle cards, you know, Chick-fil-A cards, Starbucks, get them a latte. But we want to show our teachers how much we love them, how much we care for them, how much we value them. And while we can't be in the schools, you know, helping them every day, we can show them how much we care. So do me a favor, send it to attention to School Days. That's 11615 Hartel, Grand Ledge, Michigan, 48837. Again, School Days. I want you to make it attention to School Days. That's 11615 Hartel, and that's in Grand Ledge, Michigan, 48837. So once again, let's help our teachers make our students great. It's your boy E.T. Thanks so much for your support.